Hello and welcome to What the Hey, where I'm your regular host of What the Hey, and today on What the Hey I am once again answering yet another question. When I go to my notebook of knowledge, I see the question of, what the hey is a gas station? Now this question was asked by Mr. 2007, so hello to you and thank you very much for asking the question. Now in terms of a very basic description, a gas station is what most people use to fill their vehicles up with fuel to drive around. There are actually different names for gas stations. The main and kind of the original one would actually be called filling station, but there's also ones like petrol station, which I think is more of a British thing, so good for you. Besides the usual gasoline that's sold at most filling stations, there's also stuff like biofuels that are used. You have diesels, which a lot of that goes for trucks. You have stuff with like liquid hydrogen as well as kerosene. Additionally, one of the newer things that not a lot of people have access to would be the fact that there are charging stations for electric cars. I'm not sure, and I'm just now thinking of this, if there's Tesla-specific filling stations for like electric things, because I'm pretty sure when you have a Tesla, it will show you where like the next charging station is. But like I've seen videos where people pull up to literal just like Tesla charging stations. I don't know if that's like a Tesla gas station filling station thing, but anyways, those are kind of new. Besides getting gasoline from a filling station, you can get food, drinks, clothing, lottery tickets, tobacco, you can get magazines and newspapers. Like, you could literally just live at one if you are able to. An additional component to most filling stations would be air compressors, which are usually used to fill up car tires. I know I've had to use that a few times, and one of the ones that I usually try to go to, even though there's not one up in Boone, is QT, because QT, I believe, is a Californian-based gas station, and they let people fill up their tires for free, which is awesome. I love it. Which I believe is like an actual law in California, so it makes sense. Now, the first ever kind of official fueling of a vehicle at a filling station would be back in 1888 in Germany by Bertha Benz, which, if you recognize the last name of Benz, it pretty much has to do with anything and all things automotive. But it's really cool because I was like, oh wait, when was the first ever like official like gas fill up? Apparently in 1888. There are a lot of major filling station companies, and I'm gonna go into them. I apologize if yours is not here. But some of the big ones range from Shell, BP, Speedway, Marathon, Citgo, Chevron, Mobil, Exxon, 7-Eleven, Wawa, Gulf, Wilco, QT. There's a lot. Now, I know this is kind of a hot topic, but I was actually interested. The determination of gas prices is not done by individual, like, filling stations. It's mainly done by big oil companies and big super chain markets. So please do not get mad at your local filling station, like, behind-the-counter person, because they have nothing to do with it. Gas prices can also be determined by taxes, so if you're interested to see what your country does about it, that might help determine whether or not you want to move. Specifically, if you're someone from Hong Kong, feel free to let me know what the gas prices are there currently, because apparently your country has the highest gas prices. I could not live there, I don't think. Which this kind of goes in my general opinion, but I feel like depending on where you live, you're going to kind of have the money for it, but even if like gas gets super high, you're going to complain either way. So it's like a win-lose battle. I mean, in general, right now in Boone, the gas prices are like $3.89, some are like almost $3.70. Which is nice. I mean, I do DoorDash, so I gotta drive around either way, bruh. And I mean, there's always the argument that no matter how high gas prices get, people are gonna have to pay for gas, especially in the US, because the US is so centered around automotive transportation that, like, if you want to get to work, you have to drive, pretty much, unless you just, like, live right next to your office. I mean, right now, it's super nice because where I live, I have, like, campus transportation, and I have my car if I do want to drive around, but it's like, bruh, gotta use money to get gas, and it's like around what, 40-50 bucks every time you fill up full, bruh. I mean, especially in the United States, it's literally just that argument of no matter how high the gas prices are, we gotta pay for it, unless you own a horse. That might be a good consideration. Oh, also, I'm sorry I limited this to Hong Kong, but if you have like extremely high gas prices where you live, feel free to let me know what they are, because I think it's super interesting and also depressing, but just super interesting to hear how it is like across the country or across the world. I think it's interesting and also sad. But that's essentially the answer to the question. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll get to working on them as soon as I can. Additionally, I have released a Wix website that shows what requests I'll be covering in a certain week. So feel free to check that out if you're interested to see what I'm going to be talking about. But that's essentially the video. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.